We're live. Gentlemen, good to see you this morning. We are in a little bit of a unique situation in that I was the one who got to preach on Sunday, and I've been asking the question, how's the sermon been hitting you the entire, or at least for the past 5 weeks? And Keith, you don't have the opportunity to typically weigh in first. I'll put the question to you after hearing the message. How's the sermon hitting you?
Well, it's kind of fresher than it might be. Betty and I just got back yesterday from being away for the weekend, and so we watched it last night. And I'm kind of stuck on your point about the problem of hope. So I think that anybody that works with people, Christian people, on this issue would find that this is where often a root of trouble is. I loved your illustrations of false hope. I think, for one, there's a stream of optimism that is just pervasive as a form of remedy.
I agree.
It's like if we just become more optimistic, or its pessimistic cousin, just suck it up. That's the best we can do. That's where hope is found.
I would imagine, Charlie, you find a lot of broken and false, misplaced hope in counseling sessions.
I do, and it's unfortunate, and I see just a little bit of the prosperity gospel sneaking in, even though we wouldn't think that we do that. I think many of us do. We have hope that we're going to be cured of this particular sickness or whatever, and that may be the case. It might not be the case. And I thought that illustration of the POWs with misplaced hope was really good.
That was powerful.
Do you guys know the story of Jim Stockdale at all?
Just a little bit. Didn't he end up running for president?
Yeah, I think he was on with, was it Ross Perot?
That sounds right.
Kyle, how about you? How's the sermon hitting you from Sunday?
Yeah, I think this probably goes off what you guys are already saying. But I think of the two questions, this was kind of from the start when you were differentiating aspects of hope and the what am I hoping for versus what is my hope in? And I don't know if this is right or not. I think it's okay for those things to be different at times. Like, I don't think, this is going back to Charlie, maybe, I don't think it's wrong for me to hope for that I would get healed or that I would have a child or whatever that might be. But it's wrong for me to put my hope in that. Maybe, I don't know. That's kind of how I'm processing it, I think. And I think of looking back some of the times of when I prayed for certain things, essentially praying for, God, this is what I'm hoping for, while in the next sentence saying, but don't let me put my hope in that. Keep my hope in you. Essentially what you're then saying, Brandon, of keep my hope in your mercies will be new every morning, your steadfast love, your faithfulness. I'm hoping for this thing, but keep my hope in you, almost in the same sentence in some ways.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next 5 weeks, Keith, because I think as we delve into the topic of suffering, the concept of hope is probably going to resurface again and again, and maybe even providing the grounds for us to have greater hope in something that is stable and able to weather the test of time.
Well, I think
something else.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Also in there, Brandon, our care group has been meeting through Zoom during this time, and we decided a good thing to do would be to discuss the sermons. Last night we met. I asked each person to share a struggle that they're facing right now and the hope that they may have to deal with it. And our group consists of all mature Christians, so you'd think, oh yeah, we've got this. We know our hope is in Christ. We know His mercies are new every morning. But it's not that easy. Many in our group are dealing with serious struggles, and frankly, sometimes it's hard to see that hope. It was so good to talk about it, to encourage each other, to remind each other about the true hope we have. and to pray for each other. So I encourage everyone to get with your care group or family members or whoever and use the follow-up questions on the back of the sermon notes to help process the sermons. It'll be good. I promise you, it'll be good.
Keith, do you have any sneak peeks into the next 5 weeks you want to share?
I'm going to try to dash everybody's hopes this first Sunday.
Great.
Well, that's fine. Dashed hopes and misplaced hope is probably a blessing from God.
I think it is, because I think, Kyle, that was a wonderful statement you made, or accurate one, is for us to be able to distinguish between what we want and what we desire, which those things are, as long as they're not sinful, they're okay. They're good. These are longings that are normal and aspirations that are not wicked, but to bank on them in such a way that my life is ruined. I have no purpose in living anymore. If I don't get that, I think that whole text, I wish you could have had time, Brandon, to read the whole early part of that text. I mean, that's bleak.
It's so bleak.
My goodness. And for those of us who complain about small things in our lives that really relatively inconsequential, it'd be good to revisit the landscape of what he was talking about, how awful life really is for us, versus some of the annoyances and the nuisances that sometimes we feel like God's stolen our joy because he's taken this away or hasn't given this. And we're like, really? Do you know what it's like to have all your children killed in war, to have all your freedoms taken away from you? I mean, and to have him be able to say in the midst of all that, here's where I put my hope.
Yeah, it's a powerful message. Well, I'm looking forward to the series, Keith, and we'll be back next week to be able to discuss part 1 of Rethinking Suffering. So look forward to seeing you next time.